PSA Reloaded, man. It's your boy 3 Letter Man. Subscribe to the channel, man. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Y'all see where to follow your boy at. Hit the like button also. I appreciate that. Y'all see the title of this one, man. Let's talk about it. So, Ninth Wonder producer extraordinaire from North Carolina. Done a lot of dope production over the years, a lot of soulful beats. Ninth Wonder has done, man. Working with Hove, working with a little brother, the whole the Minstrel Show project. I know what really talks about when we talk about classic albums and we like rating albums, 5 mics and heavy replay album and everything like that. Little brother, the Minstrel Show, and Ninth Wonder, he had a lot to do with that, man, in terms of production, because when little brother broke up for a little bit and they got back together, they had no Ninth Wonder production on that album, and I didn't really care for that too much, but that's neither here nor there, man. Let's stay focused. 3. So, Ninth Wonder was on Drink Champs, and the conversation, Nori plays that game, Slime Time, where you have to pick who you like or who would you rock with more, and the category was Mobb Deep versus MOP. And even as a Brooklyn dude, I would still have the Mob over MOP. And that's no shade to Billy Dance and Lil Fame and all that, because I rock with MOP hard body, man. I've always said this about MOP, right? They got the Rockefeller and G Unit. But Rockefeller and G Unit wanted to rock with those fellas, no pun intended. I mean, you got the Jay-Z Fall on Blaze remix with MOP and Jay-Z. That song was hard, right? And then the Rockefeller broke up, and then MOP, I'm just giving a little lesson right quick, part of self. I'm going to tangent right now. And then MOP got the G Unit kind of late. By the time they got the G Unit, 50 wanted to sign Mace and Spider Loke and Hot Rod and all these other funky ass niggas, man, right? But for the most part, I would pick Mobb Deep. Hence why 50 Cent also decided to sign Mobb Deep late in their career, because 50 being a Queens dude, Southside Jamaica Queens, he knows the Mobb Deep music was probably a track life to his life, you know what I'm saying? Like, as a New Yorker, right? Because this is what we're going to talk about right now, because Ninth Wonder, who's from North Carolina, he said that the Mobb Deep, the infamous album, which is their second album, some people say their first album, but you got it when they were shorties, Juvenile Hell. We can't just act like Juvenile Hell never counted, but their second album, it's almost like Tribe Called Quest, because for the most part, I didn't like Tribe Called Quest's first album, People, Distinctive Lives, and Left My Wallet, and El Segundo. I mean, I did like Bonita Applebum and Can I Kick It, but for the most part, Low End Theory and Midnight Marauders is what you talk about when you talk about Tribe Called Quest, right? So, now I go back to Mobb Deep right quick. The infamous album. Listen, man, he said the infamous is the greatest New York City album to ever come out of the city. And when you hear that, it's like, Ninth ain't all the way wrong, but I wish, see, this is what Nori, I wish you'd have pressed him a little more. Nori asked him why he said that. And Smith and Wesson was sitting there also, right? And let me say something about Smith and Wesson also, because we're talking about New York City albums. The Shining, Smith and Wesson, The Shining album, bruh, that album doesn't get spoken about enough. And you want to talk about repping New York and Brooklyn to the fullest? That whole album with the Caribbean style and English that they brought together and merged together, you can't front on Smith & Wesson, The Shining Project, man. Buckshot Shorty also. A lot of New York, I mean, then you don't want to forget the 80s also. You know what I mean? Like Rakim, Paid in Full. That meant something to the city, right? Great Adventures of Slick Rick. You could talk EPMD, who dropped 2 albums in 1 year, 88, 89, back to back, was Strictly Business and Unfinished Business. MC Light as a Rock. Big Daddy Kane is a Big Daddy. Like, it's a multitude of people in the 80s that you could throw out there also, right? But I wish I knew the reasoning behind why Ninth Wonder would say that. Now some people say, oh, 3, he's from North Carolina, the South. He should be worrying about. I don't subscribe to that theory. I've never had a problem with other regions speaking about music and how they feel about music, how they look at it from their lens, right? Now, by Ninth saying that, I will only take from that is he's saying that New York, I mean, Mobb Deep infamous album epitomizes New York City. I mean, at the end of the day, if you make a statement like that, a bold statement that way, right? Then you're gonna have the hip hop nerds like myself and other people gonna question that, and some people say that's not true and Knife is bugging. I don't think Knife is bugging by saying that. Number one, let me just say that off rip. I do not think Ninth Wonder is bugging because of that comment. Some tweets I saw, oh, three, he's reaching. That's a reach to say Mobb Deep, the infamous album, is one of the greatest albums. One is the greatest. Is the greatest. You can say one of the greatest is the greatest. There's a big difference between one of the greatest and is the greatest, right? You don't want to shortchange the other projects that came out, right, from New York City, man. And here's the thing, man. For the most part, most people are gonna throw Illmatic in there, right? They'll even throw It Was Written there because the talk conversation with Nas is Illmatic, It Was Written. I'm gonna say this, man. Illmatic, I know people. I love it. I love It Was Written. I love It Was Written, but Illmatic birthed a lot of ish, man. It just did. Like Nas got his own style with Rakim and G-Rap, and then LES and Easy Mo B and Primo and Pete Rock and Lost Professor and Q-Tip. All these brothers lining up to give us Illmatic, even though Illmatic did not sell any records, if you care about record sales and all that. Right? But it's the same thing with the Mobb, because some people will say they like Hell on Earth more than the Infamous. I don't subscribe to that, respectfully. I just think when niggas say that, they try to be the smartest niggas around. Don't get it twisted. I mean, it was Hell on Earth was a dark album, right? Obviously, sorry, I'm watching Mexican Bread. Obviously, you had Hell on Earth, Godfather Part 3. What else? What's the joint? The Shining on there. Yeah, a lot of Extortion with Method Man. Nightmare Vultures and all that. So you had the joint coming at Tupac and all that. So I understand that, but I don't have that album over the Infamous, bro. I don't. And then you go to Staten Island right quick, and you got some people who say 3. What about the Purple Tape? You gotta throw Raekwon in the conversation, bro. You gotta throw the Purple Tape in there, B. You gotta throw the Purple Tape in there, and then you also gotta throw Biggie, Ready to Die. You gotta throw Ready to Die in there at a time when New York was East Coast and West Coast, but Big was holding the East Coast down. You know, yeah, we had Tribe and Black Moon and all that. We had a couple other groups and all that, but K Solo, EPMD, Das Effects, De La Soul, Ultramatic MCs. You know, I get all that, right? People I Conceal, Smooth, Brand Nubians. We can go on and on and on, right? Rakim was still here, G-Rap, right? KRS-One. But, see, this one gets dicey, though, man. Because I'm not mad at what Night Wonder said, bro. Ready to Die, like I said, bro, that New York City needed that album. Somebody told me to Cal, and listen, man, I interviewed Method Man, and I've interviewed Havoc also before in the past. Anybody you know. Method Man interviews on his channel. I lost my old channel. I had an interview with Havoc on there. But I don't got to Cal as one of the greatest New York City albums. Nah. I don't even think Meth would agree with that, bro. Go look at my Method Man interview and see what he says about the Cal. Obviously, I got the Cal at 4 mics, right? But I don't got to Cal with Ready to Die and Illmatic and Black Moon and all that. Even Jerry the Damager, man. The sun rises in the east, you know. But see, here's the thing. Some people revere the Purple Tape and Illmatic over Mobb Deep's Infamous album. I think there's a slew of people. Illmatic definitely. I think y'all give me y'all list of them albums, because we think of New York City albums, the greatest cities album to come out of New York. Let's just stick to the ones that's really get spoken about. And I'm talking about Biggie, Ready to Die. I'm talking about Jay, Reasonable Doubt, you could say. Nas, Illmatic, bro. Not Illmatic, okay? And those are the albums. I mean, Public Enemy also, you can throw in there also. I know 50 Cent, Rich or Die Trying. I mean, it's up there, of course, but I don't got it as the greatest New York City album. Because when you say that, I'm wondering, Nathan's going to think, as a person from North Carolina, when I'm listening to New York, you got to remember now, Ninth Wonder's from North Carolina. So in the 90s, the South wasn't here yet. We didn't have Outkast yet when Mobb Deep dropped. There was no Goody Mobb Deep. I mean, Scarface was still here and all that. He had 2 Live Crew in Miami and all that. But for the most part, it was the West Coast and East Coast, right? The South and Midwest, boom. You know, was UGK out here? I think UGK was still popping. Yeah, UGK was in the 90s, 96 stuff when it came out. Right and Dirty came out in 96. But I'm just talking about New York City albums right now, and boom. Because that's what Ninth Wonder said. So part of stuff from out of towners, like, oh, New York City, New York bias. No, I'm just going off what Ninth Wonder said on the Drink Champs. And I wonder if Knife is like, yeah, I'm from North Carolina. When I'm listening to New York rappers in the 90s, in the golden era of hip hop, those brothers, Mobb Deep, spoke about Queensbridge, spoke about 41st Side, spoke about Queens Get Hectic, spoke about Up North Trip, you know what I mean? Spoke about, yo, Prodigy's whole verse on Trife Life is just so vivid of New York. Going through D's, go through Marcy, because D's ain't back giving me words, son. Like, that's just, you know. But the Raekwon Purple Tape, though, man. You talking about 5% Nation. You talking about Ray and Ghost chemistry. You know what's funny, though? The Mobb definitely got chemistry. But was Ray and Ghost chemistry a little bit, you know what it is? Ray and Ghost chemistry was a little bit louder than Mobb Deep. And I'm just saying, now off the music, because just the voice, how loud they are, when they got together, the whole Purple Tape was just them two, right? So some people have the Purple Tape over the Infamous. But does that mean because you have the Purple Tape over the Infamous that it's a better New York City album that represents New York? Because that's, listen, I did a show years ago, man, when I said top favorite albums of the 90s, I think it was we did at one time. Was it albums or groups? It might have been group, though. It might have been best groups of in the 90s, though. I think it was groups. Groups. And I had Mobb Deep at number 1. You know, but when I talk about Hell on Earth and Murder Music and Free Agents, I'm not talking about those projects now. Just slowly on Hell on, I'm simply talking about the Infamous album. 41st Side, Eye for an Eye, Temperature Rising, Drink Away the Pain. Here's the thing, bruh. That y'all gotta understand something, bruh. Why I'm gonna agree with Ninth Wonder on the Mobb. Shook Ones. I think Shook Ones is one of the greatest beats of all time. You got Havoc also, right? On top, and Havoc can rap. So I don't want to, you know, the culture for whatever reason treats Havoc like they treat Big Boy from Outkast. Like they just think Prodigy is only there, 3 Stacks is there, and Big Boy is here, and Havoc is down here. We can't do that, right? Because, you know, like Joe Budden said against Prodigy on Blood on the Wall, beats helped you out most of your career. That's what Joe Budden said about beat. So by him saying that, that's either he's talking about Havoc beats or Alchemist, right? And then what did Hope say on Star is Born? He said Mobb Deep, they took it too far. Well, they can't fuck with Brooklyn. Shook Ones. He bigged up the Mobb, but then got at them because, you know. So it's like you gotta give it up to. I got them. I ain't mad at the Mobb though, son. But I'm gonna get Illmatic in a second. But Shook Ones though, Shook Ones. See, a lot of y'all talk about albums that age. A lot of people say that age word a lot in hip hop. It didn't age well. That age word is very dicey to me, y'all. Cause hear me out for a second. Let's say if you go back to Redman's first album, right? What the album, right? Yeah, there's some songs on there by Redman. Now you look at it, it's like he was wild, having fun. You know what I mean? Like How to Roll a Blunt. He had a song called How to Roll a Blunt on What the Album, right? Like if you listen to How to Roll a Blunt now, I mean, you know, so that age well thing, I understand it, but we also got to understand at that time, at that particular time, we might have loved that song. So if we say that age well, it sounds dated. I don't know. That dated word is weird to me because you can't front on the time and the year and where you were in your particular life when you heard that song. You weren't thinking like that when you heard the song. Or it sounds dated. You love the song, and that's why a Reasonable Doubt, to me, also you gotta give it love because people still listen to Reasonable Doubt to this day. You think what I'm saying? But the Mobb though, man, oh man, son, Cradle to the Grave. But Shook Ones though, B. All right, so Biggie had Juicy as his first single, and I'm just giving you the reason why I'm going behind this. Nas had, was it Halftime? I think Halftime was the first song on the Illmatic single, because that came off the Zebrahead soundtrack. Was that, and then Big had Juicy. Hov had Their Presidents. Yeah, Raekwon and them had, was it Criminology or Glaciers of Ice first? It was one of them joints. But I say that to say this, out of all them first singles that all those brothers dropped, I'm edging them all with Shook Ones, man. I'm only 19, but my mind is old. Come on, man. Rock You in Your Face, Stab Your Brain with Your Nose Bone. That's Prodigy, son. Meanwhile, back in Queens, The Foundation, If I Died, I Never Pick a Better Location. Like, that's P, man. Son. See, you gotta understand something. For me, at one particular time, I ain't saying P was better than Nas. I just like Prodigy more than Nas a little bit, though, dogs. At one time I did. But then you go to Nas or Illmatic, though. In the infamous words of the battle rapper Briz Rothstein, the Illmatic is not, was it the Illmatic, the Bible, not a classic, Illmatic is a classic, whatever line he had. I forgot so many years now. The Bible's a classic, but it's not Illmatic. That's what Briz Rothstein said. So, you know, you can't front on Illmatic, though, bruh. You just can't, though. You just can't. And yeah, I'm like, do y'all, listen, do you got Illmatic over Ready to Die? Because New York State of Mind, Part 1, even though I like New York State of Mind, Part 2 better than New York, Part 1. But then Memory Lane, Life's a Bitch with AZ, One Love. That's 3 verses from Nas on One Love, bro. Represent. The only song I didn't like I'm nitpicking now, because I can tell you songs I don't like on every album. On Nas, the only song I didn't like on Illmatic was One Time for Your Mind. I didn't like that song. The couple of songs on Ready to Die I could do without, like Me and My Bitch, the Ready to Die. There's a couple of joints on there I didn't really care for. On Biggs. Hold on. I just want to make sure I'm clear on that. I want to say, when I talk, I want to make sure I have context behind the stuff that I'm saying. You know what I mean? So pardon stuff for 1 second here. Let me look here. It's still a classic album. Don't get it twisted. Not because every song got to be dope to make it a classic. I want to make sure I preface my statement by saying that also. Oh, every song got to... No, I'm not saying every song got to be a classic. All right, so boom. You go to Big right quick, right? Love, Things Unchanged. Give Me the Loop. Machine Gun Funk, Warning. Ready to Die. F Me. The What, of course. Juicy, classic, Everyday Struggle. Me and My Bitch. Respect. I wasn't a fan of Respect and Friend of Mine, but I love Unbelievable and Suicidal Thoughts with some other shit right there. You dig what I'm saying? So, and the only song on Mobb Deep, the infamous, that I didn't really care for was Up North Trip, baby. And maybe that or Party's Over, the last song we know. Party's Over. I did like Party. I mean, Up North Trip. I didn't really care for Up North Trip too much. That wasn't one of my favorite songs, but that doesn't mean it's not a classic, right? And then Raekwon, I wasn't a fan of North Star. I know people used to kill me for saying that. I was not a fan of the North Star song on Raekwon Purple Tape, though, bro. I'm gonna keep it tall. I wasn't. Just wasn't. I wasn't. But it's like, let's look at Raekwon right quick, bro. This is, woo. Knuckleheads, Knowledge God, Criminology, Incarcerated Scarfaces, Musky as fuck, waving their arms to Arabs. Come on, man. Rainy Days, Guillotine Swords with Ghost Deck, Shark Niggas, Ice Water, Glaciers of Ice, Verbal Intercourse with Nas, Unfold and Scroll. I wasn't a fan of Spot Rushes that much on the Purple Tape and North Star. The only two songs I ain't go too crazy about though. Yeah, dig? So those are the joints right there, man. So, but Mobb gave you the done language. They talked about, I don't know, son. I understand the Mobb though, B. I get it though. I really do, fams. I do. Infamous. You gotta, your dog. The 41st side song, Survival of the fittest, eye for an eye, give up the goods, temperatures right. Like the first 7 songs are damn near like 5 mics, son. I ain't gonna hold y'all. It was, bro. I wasn't a fan of North Trip like that, but Trife Life, Queens Get Hectic, right back at you with Ghostface, Cradle to the Grave. Yo, dog, listen, man. I'm only going to agree with this because I said, about 3 years ago I said this. 2 to 3 years ago I did the show. And the conversation was with the best albums of the 90s, best group of the 90s, pardon me. And I had the Mobb #1, man. But that was just because the infamous Hell on Earth and your body of work. But I understand what Knife is saying. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying. But I want to make sure I don't, Special Ed gets love also in the 80s also. But we're talking about, he said the greatest album to come out of New York. You know what's funny though? We're in 2025, but you ask the average fan, they probably rock Reasonable Doubt more than all these albums though. See, that's the funny thing about this though. Are we sliding Hove though? Because I do feel, and I could be wrong. All right, is Illmatic better than Reasonable Doubt? Is Herald more than Reasonable Doubt? But I think people play Reasonable Doubt more though to this day though. The Evils, Can't Knock the Hustle, Regrets, Cashmere Thoughts, Can I Live, Brooklyn's Finest, Friend or Foe, State Your Biz. I don't know, son. I don't know. But leave comments on the bottom. I want to know what y'all think. Was Ninth Wonder, because I saw some people say he's bugging. I don't understand the bugging word by saying that the infamous was the greatest New York City album to come out of New York. But once again, I wish I had context behind that, why he said that though. Nori didn't give a follow up, or EFN. I don't know. Yeah, leave comments on the bottom. Tell me what y'all think though, man. It's your boy 3. Well.